Should we get on to some nerdy news?
Yes.
It's been 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a decently long episode anyway, so I've just cut it down to the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing too small in here. If there's anything I've missed, I'm sure we'll grab it anyway as we go. Starting off with something that feels like old news now, but it's still incredibly exciting. Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts, will also be directing X-Men. Straight after Thunderbolts came out, there and it had great reviews from everyone going, "This is really good." Basically, the next day there were articles coming out going, "Should he be the guy to direct X-Men?" And we both kind of said he knows how to do a team found family dynamic really well, even with kind of arsehole characters. If he at least knows how to direct that, and you get someone who can write an X-Men film, you should be okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I'd like to see a bit more colour than what we saw in the Thunderbolts for an X-Men film.
I believe that he can bring that, because you've also got to think X-Men film is probably going to be post-reset.
I assume so at this point.
Yeah. So we should
be camp as fuck, dog.
We should be away from this cookie cutter MCU look.
I'm hoping so.
We also saw with Thunderbolts, like, he clearly pushed the boat a bit, like pushed the boundaries of what an MCU film can look like visually and in the way it's directed and shot. For that, like, as where people call the A24 style, just because that's the trendy thing.
Yeah.
But, like, if he can bring some of that, some more color, really push himself away from like what was the MCU to try and help define this new era, I think he could do a great job.
So do I. And side note, I need that film to be so gay that people are like trying to organise boycotts against Disney for releasing it. The X-Men are inherently camp as fuck. There is not a straight member of the X-Men. They are all bisexual as a minimum, even if you've never seen them in a same-sex relationship. They are gay as fuck, and it needs to be replicated. The Batman Part 2 script is in.
It
should start filming in January.
Like a week after James Gunn was like, just leave the man be. I'm not pestering him, and it's like
James Gunn was really like, Matt knows what the fuck he's doing. Did you see the first one? It was fucking great. Just let Matt fucking write the film. Fuck's sake.
Do you reckon Matt saw that interview and he's like, if only he knew, as he's finishing like writing the last page, he's like, well, James, you're about to find out.
I like the idea of Matt having had it finished for like a month, and he just kept on forgetting to send it, and he saw that, and he was like, ah, shit, I knew I had to send this in.
still sat in his drafts on his email. Oh, shit, send.
Oh, I thought I hit send on that. God, I'm so sorry, James. We're both incredibly excited for that. It's great time. Kind of side note alongside this, I didn't think it deserved its own talking point. Can't remember who it was. A outlet did a ranking of the top 50 films of different genres for the last 20 years or something. And they had The Dark Knight as the best comic book film. A lot of people kind of went, motherfucker, it's not even the best Batman film.
No.
I am a big Chris Nolan lover.
Interesting choice.
Chris Nolan's Batman films, I think, are his 3 worst films.
I don't think that's that bad at heart of a take.
Yeah. And I think if it wasn't for when them films came out, he would have got torn to pieces for them. Kind of how we talk about, like, Raimi's Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
And how if you try to do Spider-Man with organic webs now, people would lose their mind. I think that them Batman films came out at the right time. Like, he didn't do Robin. He instead hired fucking Jordan Gordon, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, to play a police officer whose name was Robin in the 3rd film.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we were dealing with. Anyway, John Bernthal has joined the cast of Spider-Man Brand New Day as the Punisher. I have no idea what they're cooking with this film.
It is gonna be.
I'm scared and I'm scared and excited.
Because it's like we've seen how Matt Murdock has dealt with this Punisher in that realm. The idea of like Tom Holland's Spider-Man having like a monologue chat with John Bernthal's Punisher over like what's right and wrong is going to be very interesting to watch.
I also think there's a real question of, can John Bernthal's version of the Punisher work in a PG-12 film?
What if they're going to shock us?
I would be amazed if Sony agree to make a Spider-Man film with 15 as like a main release, not even like a Spider-Man noir type thing. I'd be genuinely amazed.
Hey,
Sony would earn a lot of goodwill from me if they had the balls to agree to that.
You never know.
I will genuinely be shocked. I don't think Sony would ever allow that. Now, this is something that you probably didn't expect to see on the news, but I am so ready. Dave Bautista, former WWE wrestler turned god tier actor who I'm a big fan of and just keeps on nailing it, has finally got a film off the ground. Well, apparently he's been wanting to make for a long time, which I love even more because he's passionate about this, which means it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
It's a rom-com. You know, Dave Bautista, big muscly dude? Yeah, rom-com. Where he plays a romance writer who's written under the pseudonym of a woman called Francine, and he now has been invited to like a writer's Comic-Con essentially, and he's had to hire a woman to pretend to be him so he doesn't get outed.
That's funny.
Cinema is back, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, just the fact that this film's been made, he already was the best WWE actor. This just puts him leagues ahead.
Just put it in perspective. The other two WWE wrestlers turned actor, one I have an okay opinion of, one I have a terrible opinion of. We don't need to name names. Everyone knows who's who if you've watched more than 2 episodes. The one I don't have a great opinion of has such a fragile ego and suffers so badly with toxic masculinity. He claims he doesn't take steroids, while despite being 50 plus years of age, keeps getting bigger. And in his contract, he's not allowed to lose a fight. Do you think he would agree to a role like this? Let alone be excited and pushing for it.
See, if he did this film,
it would be terrible.
Well, no,
because he cannot act.
It'd be terrible in the sense of he wouldn't. The story wouldn't be that he has to hire someone to pose him. His character then would be welcomed with open arms as this like amazing writer.
Like, for anyone who's worried about maybe Dave Bautista being on the wrong side of history with how this might come across, Dave Bautista was very good friends with professional boxer Manny Pacquiao. Like, I'm talking like a friendship of like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
When he found out that Manny Pacquiao was donating large sums of money to a homophobic charity in the Philippines, he cut him off and never spoke to him again. Dave Bautista don't play.
No.
If he's excited about this film and I know how good an actor he is, I'm excited about this film. I'm sold. I'm there. My ticket's already bought. I'm there. And then just when I thought good news couldn't get any better. Denis Villeneuve of Dune fame, of Blade Runner 2047 fame, of might be on the most hot streak of any director on planet Earth right now, has been announced as the next director of James Bond. He has agreed to a 1-film deal, but if the film goes well, he may do a second. My only concern is he doesn't have final cut.
Oh.
And that scares me a bit. But bearing in mind my excitement for anything James Bond film related was at an all-time low.
Yeah.
This has got me back in a, okay, we'll wait and see what happens situation. This is the best thing they could have done right now, other than maybe Edgar Wright, who I would like to point out was also in like the last 3 directors they were talking to.
Well.
So if nothing else, Amazon know that they had to earn my ticket back. However, I will say it right now: if they cast Henry Cavill, if they cast Tom Holland, not that I dislike Tom Holland, he just shouldn't be James Bond, or if they cast anyone who's not British, they will lose my ticket again. Right now, my favourite fan casting I've seen, I forget his fucking names. You know, Skins just created the best actors of our generation. Dev Patel is a name I'm seeing thrown about for James Bond right now that I fuck with heavy. That's someone I can get
and he
behind.
did Monkey Man, which was well received.
Yeah, he was executive producer on that. He did all of the hard work in getting that film made. That was him. I am all in.
Yeah,
like, of all the fan castings I've seen, Dev Patel is the only one so far that I'm like, yes, that I can get behind. Now, obviously, Dev Patel will need to be prepared for a bunch of absolute fucking weapons being angry because he's James Bond and he's not white. I, however, say, fuck that. Dev Patel was a great actor, and I can buy him being a suave motherfucker in a suit.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all in all, we are back on board with James Bond for now, but you have a very tight leash, Mr. Bezos. Jurassic World Rebirth. First Jurassic film I've been excited for in a while has unfortunately debuted with a pretty low score on Rotten Tomato, currently sitting at I think 56 or 58%. Now, as we know, critic scores do not mean anything or don't mean everything.
No.
I still think I'm going to be able to have a good time, but I may come out and kind of similar to F1 be like, it was fun, but it wasn't groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Which is all I want it to be in reality. I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of F1, apparently there is already a F1 sequel that is getting some heat. I'm not surprised. It's made a fuck ton of money already. It's going to keep making money. And what I discovered was it cost 200 million to make. Yeah? Which would mean you need to make like 500 million at the box office to break even once you've done all your marketing. The geniuses at Apple TV or Apple Studios, and they are geniuses for this, they sold actual advertising for the fake team in the film. So all the advertisements for everything the team does, so like on the car and on the shirt and everything else, they sold that as legit advertisements. And they made somewhere between 40 and 50 million from that.
Well, yeah, because it also
so if they know they can do that again.
Well, because also the smart thing with that, which is probably why they made so much money off it, that was all seen at actual F1 races throughout the season when they were there filming and stuff. So like,
yeah, and also F1, I think paid a bit of the money for this as well because they knew
they've definitely backed it in some.
So degree. If F1 go, yeah, we've seen a benefit from this, and it made a fuck ton of money, then everyone involved's going to go, let's run it back.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm going to let you take the lead on this one because people know a lot of my feelings. We finally got the Running Man trailer for Edgar Wright and Glenn Powell's team-up film with the remake of the 1980s classic Running Man. I have been very vocal about my excitement for this film. How did you find the trailer?
I mean, it looks fun. Looks good. I'm probably not anywhere near as excited as you. But I don't
expect you to be. I don't expect you to be. Edgar Wright is my favourite director. Glenn Powell in the last 18 months has got a lot of a stock bump to me personally. I've seen him in a variety of things where he's been quite different, and I've appreciated that. And it looks really good. Coleman Domingo in the trailer as the host looks brilliant.
Yeah, he does.
I like the vibe. I'm excited. I think it could be really good. Comes out November 7th, I think it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
We will be there. We will be there. To end the year out, what a way to end the year, I think. Very impressive trailer. Captures the kind of vibe I was looking for. I kind of like that it seems like from some of the shots in the trailer, they're going to lean into a lot of this kind of vlog style footage when he
Yeah.
like manhandles the cameras,
Yeah.
which I think is going to be quite unique and fun.
Mm.
And I'm curious to see how it all comes together. But really exciting, and more excitingly, it means we are another day closer to Edgar Wright being finished with this project, so him and Simon Pegg can start working on their next film together. The Cornetto quadrilogy. We got a first look at Eyes of Wakanda,
Yes.
the animated show for Disney Plus. It looks interesting.
I was gonna say it has a different animation style to any of the other Marvel stuff. Almost more leaning towards like a traditional Disney animated vibe.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they started going unique and then pussied out a little bit, or if that is the style they were aiming for the whole time. Because it feels in some of the shots incredibly unique, and then in other shots it feels kind of not.
I think they've kind of gone for, on purpose, like a bit of a blend. Like it has the like character proportions and stylizing of a Disney film, but with the visual texture layer sort of being more of these drawn animated films that we've seen. They've tried to find their own middle ground.
Mm-hmm. But it looks good. I think we got a quick glimpse at maybe the Iron Fist we heard is going to be in this show, but not the Iron Fist we expect. At the end, you see a kind of guy with like a vibranium-looking gauntlet on. There's a bit of a chi looking effect to that. I have no expectations for this show, but I'm excited because we've not got to spend anywhere near as much time in Wakanda as I would have liked. And this would be a cool way to kind of just add a bit to that.
Yeah.
The Bear has been renewed for season 5.
Yeah, within like a week of it coming out, which isn't a surprise.
So Christopher Storer, the creator and director of a lot of the episodes, has said that they've not written any scripts for season 5 yet, but they do have a plan of what they're going to do with it, should it be greenlit, because it hadn't been at the time. All of the cast had already been contracted for a 5th season, so there's no danger of
losing
them not being available.
Yep.
But it does mean we might have our longest wait for a Bear season because the scripts aren't ready yet.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, we've been spoilt because
it's 4 seasons in 3 years.
Well, yeah, and season 3 and 4 were actually filmed back to back. So it's like, unfortunately, we were spoiled a bit there, but yeah.
Yeah, big time.
We'll see.
And The Boys' final season has officially wrapped.
It's coming to an end.
It is. Next year, that season will be out, and that'll be it. The Boys will be done. Obviously, we've got 12 billion spin-offs apparently coming, but that'll be the actual main story of The Boys done.